Hi, welcome to Therottenrebel. I'm here with the one and only Sandra Solomon Fragrance.
Hi everyone.
And welcome back to yet another comparison, and this is going to be an epic one. We have the compliment getter Valentino Born in Roma against one of my favorites this year, Valentino Born in Roma Intense. So like always, we have prepared paper strips with the dry downs, but please do spray on the opening of the original Born in Roma. Good? Bad?
Yeah, of course, this one is good. This is something that is maybe soft, spicy, aromatic, a bit woody, and kind of fizzy in a way.
Yeah, I agree. There's like a slight hint of fizziness to the opening. This opens up with a big aromatic blast, and it's sort of a bright and fresh. And I think that initial brightness and freshness is really nice.
Yeah, I think this is one of those that you just can't go wrong with. Spray it on for going to work or just doing whatever. It's the kind of scent that people just like.
Yeah, the opening is bright and fresh in an aromatic way, and the opening is very, very likable. There's a slight hint of something spicy in the background as well. And as this thing heads into the mids, you get a bit of something that is sort of a salty together with that violet leaf.
Yeah, and what I also like about it when it dries down is that you are starting to get those aquatic undertones. This is not a heavy aquatic fragrance, but there is something aquatic in the background.
This is so good. The opening to me, in a nutshell, is very fresh and very aromatic. Its freshness is not that of like a citrusy or aquatic kind of freshness. This to me is more of an aromatic kind of freshness with a slight hint of spiciness in the background. As it heads into the mids, you get something that is sort of a salty with quite a prominent dose of violet leaf, and I like the opening a lot. And I'm gonna say that I feel the opening is incredibly likable and mass appealing.
Yes, and what I think is actually kind of cool is that violet leaf together with the aquatic side of it makes it somehow fruity, but there are no fruity notes in here.
So please do try the dry down. What are your thoughts?
This is... What am I doing?
I have no idea what's going on.
It's like I'm gonna eat it.
I think this is the first time you actually hold it like that. Yeah, okay.
I think it's the first time I actually hold a test strip. No. This is really cool. I really like the dry down more than I like the opening. You still have that aquatic side of it, but this is now more about the woody notes, the aromatic side, that violet leaf, and it's somehow calmed down.
As this thing dries down, its woodiness is really coming through, and what you get in the opening has softened up quite a bit. Yeah, the freshness is almost gone, giving room for something that to me is primarily woody with a bubblegum-ish kind of sweetness behind it. So it's like soft woodiness with a bubblegum-ish kind of sweetness to it, and I like the dry down a lot.
The dry down is beautiful. Now I wonder, is this the kind of scent that you would wear to a date?
Yes, definitely.
And I'm happy to hear that because I think this is a great kind of dating fragrance.
So to sum up Born in Roma, this is a very likable kind of scent. This has always been a compliment getter. This to me is a mix of freshness and sweetness, and that freshness and sweetness is balanced up in a really nice way by a big dose of a soft kind of woodiness. The original Born in Roma has always been a fragrance that just makes me smile. This is like a fun, attractive, flirty, definitely kind of fragrance that just, it's a feel-good kind of scent, and I like it a lot. How do you feel? How would you sort of wrap up your thoughts on Born in Roma?
Yes, as I said in the beginning, this is a kind of scent that most people enjoys. This is definitely one that goes into the more attractive, seductive kind of area, perfect for dating, but it's also so mass appealing that you could just as well wear it just to work or casually.
So when it comes to performance, I've never felt that this is a strong fragrance. I do spray quite a bit with it, but when I do, the projection is quite nice and easily noticeable by those around me. The longevity is quite good, but this thing right here is not, at least according to me, a beast mode fragrance. It's definitely not weak. And it's definitely not beast mode. It's somewhere slightly below strong. So here are my thoughts on usage. So like seasons, occasions, stuff like that. This is not a super light kind of fragrance. It does have a bit of depth to it, but it's not a deep or heavy kind of fragrance neither. No. So I do feel you can use this to pretty much any occasion. Use it to work, and most people at work will most definitely think you smell amazing. Definitely use this thing when you are going on a date because it's a fantastic, attractive compliment getter. What are your thoughts on like seasons, occasions, stuff like that?
I think definitely that you can wear it all year round. What I do think is a pity is that it isn't stronger, because this would smell amazing when it's cold outside, but I'm not sure if this one breaks through the cold. Of course if you're inside, but if you're outside and you're walking past people, they probably won't get a whiff of it.
So it's time for one of my favorite men's fragrances releases this year, Valentino Born in Roma Intense. Please do spray it on.
You want to know what I really liked about this one? It's that the moment I sprayed it on the test strip, it was just a cloud of vanilla coming at my face, and that was beautiful.
This one just makes me smile. This is like a big dose of sexy happiness when you spray it on. So yeah, let's sum up the opening like big dose of sexy happiness.
Yeah.
It does, however, smell like a mix of sort of a freshness, like aromatic freshness with a bit of spiciness. And this has, at least according to me, something sort of a fizzy in the background. Now, I do want to clarify that sort of a fizziness. This is not as fizzy as some fragrances can be, but there's something slightly fizzy about that opening. So like aromatic opening, slightly fresh, definitely a bit spicy with a bit of fizziness to it. And I mean, this thing just makes me smile from the first sniff straight away. Within just a few minutes, you can feel that vanilla coming through. And its aromaticness has softened up just a bit. To me, it's a very smooth kind of vanilla with a bit of that sort of a fizziness in the background and a bit of lavender in the background as well. And I think this is really when this thing truly starts to shine. So I mean, the initial part of the opening, big light from me. But when that vanilla starts to come in with the lavender, this starts to turn out into a real banger.
Yes, and you say that this is fizzy. I said that the original is also fizzy, but this is even more fizzy.
Yeah.
And I really like the combination of that smooth and creamy vanilla, but then the lavender underneath that just makes it pop in some way.
This is a great opening. This is, without a single doubt, a mass appealing opening, a sexy opening. And if you enjoy fragrances that are a bit spicy, sort of a fizzy, aromatic, if you enjoy the scent of lavender and vanilla, then you will most likely enjoy the opening of Intense. So please do try the dry down.
Oh. I can't really say what it is. But there is something extra here now. So you still have the lavender. The vanilla is definitely there. There is something woody in the background, but there is something sweet, slightly warm. I wouldn't say powdery, but there is just some kind of creamy veil over it now.
This is so good. This is so damn good. The more it dries down, the softer that initial aromatic dose gets. So that part of it is quite soft by now.
Yeah.
And the more it dries down, the stronger the vanilla and its sweetness. I also feel that the more this thing heads into the dry down, the more intense that sort of a bubble gummish kind of scent becomes. So this to me, when it hits the dry down, is basically all about vanilla, a bit of lavender, and quite a prominent dose of sweetness, a bubble gummish kind of sweetness. And I think the dry down is fantastic.
The dry down really is fantastic. I think the opening is really good too, but the dry down is magical with this one. And if I said that the original is a dating fragrance, this is like third dating fragrance-ish.
This is so good. The dry down, in conclusion, at least according to me, is vanillic. It has quite a prominent dose of lavender to it. It's sweet, sort of a bubblegumish sweet. I also feel that this has a bit of warmth to it, but I don't feel this is a warm fragrance. It has a bit of warmth to it, but it's not a sort of an overly warm kind of fragrance. So here are my thoughts on performance. Intense is definitely stronger, at least on my skin, than the original Born Roma. Projection is pretty good, at least for the first 2-3 hours, and the longevity is quite good. So performance, I actually think Intense is definitely approved. It's however not beast mode. Comparing these two performance-wise, Intense definitely is the stronger one.
Yes.
So here are my thoughts on usage. So like seasons, versatility and occasions. Someone will most definitely disagree with me, but I worn Intense summertime and it just shines with a bit of warmth. I feel you can use Intense throughout the year, no doubt. But with that said, it's definitely a bit more suitable fall, winter and spring. But I feel it smells gorgeous with a bit of warmth to it. As for occasions, come on, this is sexiness. Please do try wearing it when you are going on a date. You will most likely get a compliment, and should he go on a second date if she doesn't think this is a good one?
I don't think so, but I want to talk about dates because we often say that, well, this is a perfect dating fragrance or this is not a dating fragrance. Well, the fact is that not a lot of people goes on a lot of dates. I mean, there are those who are like dating all the time, but then there are normal people like me dating every once in a while. And the thing is that when I say something is good for dating, I mean that it's good for spraying on whenever you know that you are going to meet someone that you are attracted to. So that could might as well be when you are going to the gym, going to work, going to meet friends.
Yeah.
If there is someone special that you want to get the attention from, I mean, when I say it's a dating fragrance, it's that kind of dating fragrance that you spray on for those occasions.
Or let me put it this way. This to me is like perfect as a date night fragrance because I feel this is a sexy fragrance. This fragrance makes me feel sexy. So in a way, this is a fragrance I put on whenever I want that sexy vibe. So in a way, this is like a perfect 24/7 dating fragrance that you put on in the morning, when you go to work, when you go to grab a burger, when you go to the grocery store, whenever, wherever. But with that said, this can also be worn, you know, to the office whenever you just want to smell pretty damn awesome. So there are my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on usage, season, stuff like that?
I want to know what you mean when you say that this is a 24/7 date night fragrance or date fragrance.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
and then you said like going to breakfast, then going to shopping, then going to work. Do you bring your date like to the grocery store, to the work?
What I meant was that this gives me a sexy kind of vibe. And I am going to have that sexy kind of vibe whenever I spray this on. So this is like a dating fragrance, sexy fragrance.
Always ready for date fragrance.
Something like Let's move on. Complicated stuff. What are your thoughts on usage?
I think you should wear it to dates or whenever you want to smell attractive to someone.
And what about seasons?
Oh, I haven't said seasons. I always miss our program. But I think, yeah, I agree with what you said. Definitely better in the fall, winter and spring. But just like the Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances, fragrances that are sweet and a bit spicy, aromatic, works all year round, and this one actually also works in the summertime.
So it's time. If you could only choose one of these, which one would you choose and why?
You know, this was, or I thought it was going to be really hard because when we have been comparing these side by side, they are both amazing fragrances. They have some similarities, but they also have many differences. And what actually made the call for me, what actually made me make up my mind is that I sprayed these two on a couple of hours ago on both of my wrists. And when we were done here, I was like, yeah, it's easy. The one I have on my left hand is the one I love the most, and the one that's on my left hand is the Intense one.
So here's the thing. Going into this comparison, I thought this would be really hard as well, because I really like the original Born in Roma. This is a fantastic, feel-good, sexy kind of fragrance that gets a lot of compliments. And the new Born in Roma Intense is one of my absolute favorites this year. So I knew this would be super hard, or I thought this would be super hard, but it was actually not that hard. Both are feel good fragrances that makes me smile, but come on. Born in Roma Intense, the way this thing makes me smile, that intense sexy vibe that it gives me is just insane. This to me has something that I'm addicted to. It's intoxicating, I just love it. So yeah, Born in Roma Intense for me as well.
So I guess we can say that the 24/7 dating fragrance won.
Yeah, so I would love to know if you could only choose one of these, which one would you choose? The original Born in Roma or the new Born in Roma Intense? Please do drop a like on this video. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you head on over to Sandra Solomon Fragrance's channel. I'm gonna link to her channel in the description below. Sub to her, sub to me, and I'll see you in the next one.